A very good afternoon on behalf of India FinTech Forum. I'm Medha, and here we have with us Mr. Monarch Modi, the founder and CEO of Bitex, a UAE-based secure digital currency trading platform. He spearheads the digital asset exchange and provides investors with a number of inputs regarding digital currencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. Bitex is a second venture, the first one being a cross-border payment security startup that was acquired by Vantiv. Hello, Mr. Modi. Welcome to our FinTech Leadership Series.
Hi, Meta. How are you?
Good, thank you. So, Mr. Modi, over the years, BitX has tried to enhance the use of cryptocurrencies for cross-border payments, particularly in Latin American markets. What are your key strategies for achieving this goal, and how do you think it will benefit the global payments ecosystem?
Yeah, basically, BitX initially started operations in the UAE, and the main aim that we were trying to solve was to improve the cross-border remittances, as UAE was a country of expats. The people who were investing, they were mostly expats, and in about 6 months, we were serving the whole of Middle East, not just UAE. So basically, 70% of the transactions that we were doing were mostly of the investors who were sending the money back home. And then the aim was to expand operations to the Latin America region. So that was something where we were trying to cater to the market where the main goal was remittances, outward remittances, not just internal countries transactions. So
Right.
Betex was initially launched for solving this purpose, and here we are serving customers in India as well.
So, like you mentioned, India, acceptance of cryptocurrency in India has seen a lot of fluctuations. From Subhashkar Committee's recommendations and RBI's ban on cryptocurrencies in the past to a far more welcoming stance announced by the finance minister recently, things so have changed a lot. What's your prognosis on the future of cryptocurrency and blockchain in India?
Sure, that's a nice question. So basically, I believe that volatility brings in bigger volume for any exchange. So we have seen a lot of different news, a lot of different sentiments coming out from the government, from the people who are investing, from institutional investors, and also global players. So there have been times where we are seeing some global positives, but again, in the country, there are people who are trying to understand the whole concept of blockchain, the whole concept of cryptocurrency, and they're trying to bring in some kind of policy or regulation which will help the country's basically economy. So what we have been experiencing a lot of different varied uh, you know stances from the government, and there's still no clarity
Right.
on the same. So we believe that eventually we will have to come out with a policy and a framework which will benefit the country, because India is a country which is joining the global race, and we are seeing a lot of institutional investors. We are seeing a lot of small investors who are actually interested in learning about blockchain, the cryptocurrency, and the use cases of this whole technology. So that is one of the reasons we are trying to explore, and I believe it doesn't happen overnight. As China has been testing that cryptocurrency for a while now, India is also looking towards the different ideas and how we can solve the issues, because when we're bringing something new, it also requires a proper testing, and we
Right.
want to make sure that there's no money laundering happening, and there's whatever is happening is on the table and it's happening in front of our eyes. So that is why one of the reasons we're still trying to understand, the government is trying to understand, that taking the opinions of the experts from exchanges, and a lot of people, a lot of committees are trying to get involved in the same.
Right. So we just discussed about volatility in terms of the government stance, but there is also other forms of volatility that we have experienced. For example, the price of cryptocurrencies, be it Bitcoin or Dogecoin, has seen a lot of fluctuations. How do you reckon cryptocurrencies can achieve the transition from a speculatively traded digital asset to a stable store of wealth, which would closely resemble a currency? And does this volatility have any implications for trading platforms like Bitex?
Sure. So I mean, like I mentioned, that volatility, when the market is volatile, the volumes are soaring. So what happens is investors try to rush towards the entry and exit when cryptocurrency prices are moving high or just going down. However, in order for cryptocurrency to be accepted and recognized, it has to be stable. That is what I believe. Currently, the community is growing, the awareness is
Right.
increasing, and also a lot of people are entering the market. So this has all led to an increased stability, and not just a single entity is able to sort of move the prices of any cryptocurrency right now. Initially, what was happening was it was a volume game where people were just trying to enter the market, exit the market, take a lot of volume. But right now, it's much more stable. The community is much more bigger. There are a lot more investors. The market cap of cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin itself, or say Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's growing. So what is happening is that the awareness is increasing. We are trying to adopt to the whole volatility market. I mean, if there's a positive sentiment, then we might expect something. But again, it's not just on the rise, or it's not a bullish or a bearish market all the time. So what is happening is something that the market is getting stable. And for Bitcoin or Ethereum or any cryptocurrency to be accepted worldwide and in our day-to-day life, it has to be stable. So I believe that though there is volatility, we are also moving towards a more stable industry, and very soon we should be able to see a lot more awareness in this market, and not just any news coming out and the prices going high or low. So basically,
Right.
the volume is getting much more improved. It's not going one way nowadays.
Understood. So, BitX so far has had a truly transnational journey with its roots in UAE and forays into multiple markets across the globe, and most recently into India. What have been the chief opportunities and challenges in building this scale?
Sure. So at Bitex, we have had like varied experiences, as all the regions are different. Working on a global scale, Bitex has always been very flexible as we try to cater to the market based on the needs. So, for
Right.
example, the UAE is a market which is much more aware and technically advanced. And when we talk about blockchain, so it all depends on a country's acceptance rate. In UAE, people might adopt to something easily compared to in a region like India, because the people who are coming to UAE, they are maybe people with some kind of degrees or knowledge about the fintech market. So when we try to enter a market, the needs are different, and as we try to cater to the people, we have to be much more flexible in terms of what we're providing to them. For example, as we started the operations in India, our aim was to increase awareness. So we started working on Bitex Academy. People who don't know what blockchain is, people who don't know what cryptocurrency is, for them,
Right.
it's important to know before they're investing. And India is a market where people are, it's usually word of mouth marketing, where sort of you are just following the trend, you're following people around you, but people don't know what it is exactly. So we're trying to change that. We're trying to make sure that what people are doing, then they're aware of the fact that it's a thing, that a risk that they're taking. It's an investment they're doing, and what is the outcome? What can be the outcome of this investment? It's not like always profit, which people are expecting.
Right.
So based on the markets, it has to be different. The approach has to be different. The platform that we're providing, it has to be different. So basically, Bitex is trying to understand the market first before entering. And as we are already working globally, for example, in the Middle East, the approach is different. People are different. Investors are different. The mentality is different. So the basic thing that goes into starting the business anywhere in any country is to understand what is the need. So
Right.
that is how we are trying to cater to the market.
Sure. So, moving on, the mega hack of Qcoin Exchange has revealed the extent of damage that cybersecurity challenges pose to cryptocurrency trading platforms. So, what is BitX doing to secure itself against similar threats?
Hmm. Yeah, so the KuCoin mega hack was something that all of us are sort of aware of. And I believe that right now it's a very technically advancing, I mean, we're all advancing at a very rapid pace. There's
Right.
something new coming out every single day. So in order to be in par, or in order to sustain the market, you have to be aware of the challenges, because it's a technology. We are building it
Mhm.
by ourselves. So there are flaws as well. But again, it's updating regularly. Every single day, there's something new coming out. So if you're not updated with what is coming out in the market, then you lag. So basically, KuCoin was an example of such misinterpretation, and basically they did not update themselves, and the whatever happened, we all know what happened. So
Right.
for an exchange, it's important to focus on security more than anything else, because when you are working on a financial market, you are it's basically people who are investing their money, and you are financially responsible for basically anyone who's investing. So at Bitex also, we have focused more on security aspect more than anything else. And we have made sure that the funds that people are investing, they are safe with us, because the hard-earned money, we don't want anyone to, lose in whatever ways cocaine mega happened. But
Yeah.
basically, the main intention is that if we are updated with the technological advancements, and if we are know if you know what is happening in market, if some new wallets are coming up, or how people are storing their cryptocurrencies, or how we can at least advise them. So the main
Mhm.
thing that we're trying to do is that we are advising people, the customers, how they can store their cryptocurrencies, how they can safeguard their wallets, how they can make strong passwords, how they can use multiple tools like two-factor authentication. And
Mhm.
on a platform side of view, from Bitex side of a point of view, what we're doing is we are trying to provide lots of layers of security. While we're doing IP blocking, we're doing email OTP, we're doing SMS OTPs, and we're also making sure that whatever transitions are happening, basically after the KYC of a user is done, a lot of compliance checks are, uh, basically with Bitex is doing a lot of compliance checks and a lot of KYC checks. So that is all helping safeguard the platform, and we're trying to be secure and not, make the same mistake that other exchanges have done in the past.
Right. That's good to know. So going forward, in the growth story of Bitex, what is the next step?
Yeah, that's a nice question again. So basically, Bitex is we're working globally, and we're actively expanding to different regions. Along with it, we are trying to innovate something. So basically, Bitex is a cryptocurrency exchange, but again, we are trying to follow the financial markets, as there are derivatives platforms, and there's a lot that you can do with the fintech market. So we're trying to involve cryptocurrency into the fintech market. We are working on a product called Bitex Pay, which is sort of a cryptocurrency payment method where, just like Paytm is doing, but you can make your payments with cryptocurrency. So we're trying
Right.
to onboard merchants. We are trying to have Bitex Pay going in the country, and we're trying to have people make payments with Bitex Pay. Along with it, we are working on this thing called Bitex Academy, where we are trying to educate people. It's a free to use tool where people can learn, they can look at videos, they can see what is happening in the market. And basically, from a beginner's point of view to a very advanced level, you can get the knowledge on how this market is reacting and what is the reason behind this thing. So basically, it's from the fundamentals to the highest level of experience that people can get.
Right.
That will be done through Bitex Academy.
That's good to know. So finally, what have been your key learnings so far in your entrepreneurial journey?
Okay. So basically, Bitex is a second venture that we're doing right now. So
Yeah.
before this, we were working on a startup called Geosec, which was a payment security startup. So
Right.
basically, my focus has always been on the fintech market, and Bitex was something which was launched at a time when people were not really aware of what cryptocurrencies were, and starting operations in the UAE region where there were no exchanges in the market at all. It was very difficult for us to explain to the people that this is something that you can invest in. But the challenges that we were facing were that Bitex, I mean, the cryptocurrency market and the cryptocurrency market in the UAE, or a lot of regions that we're working in, it's a gray market. So
Right.
people don't know the regulations. People don't know if it's regulated, if what is the governing authority, or which body is controlling the whole thing, because there's no clarity. It's not illegal. It's not legal in some regions as well. So basically, it's in the gray market, and working in such a market where you're trying to explain to the people and creating a trust in people where they know that the funds that they're investing, it's safe with us. So that is one of the challenges that we have been facing. But again, we're trying to solve that the same thing where people are able to trust us with whatever services that we are providing to them. So the journey has been a very amazing journey where challenges have come up, and we've learned, and we have tried to solve them, and move to the next step.
Wonderful. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week, Mr. Modi.
Thank you. Thanks, Mega.